15 strange laws and customs in the Czech Republic. Banning fish in toilet tanks, prohibiting adding lemons to lemonade, even forbidding joking with friends. Perhaps only in the Czech Republic do such absurd regulations exist. The Czech Republic is renowned for its historical beauty, unique architecture, but one thing equally peculiar in this place is its prohibitions and strange regulations. In today's video, let's explore 15 prohibitions and oddities in the Czech Republic. Make sure you're prepared to be surprised by the interesting things about to be revealed. If everything's ready, let's dive right in. Number 15. Banning fish in toilet tanks. If you happen to find a fish in a public restroom in the Czech Republic, don't be surprised the fish is actually placed there to be raised. Only in the Czech Republic do people come up with the idea of raising fish in toilet tanks to the extent that the government has had to impose a ban. The law prohibiting fish breeding in toilet tanks in the Czech Republic is one of the strange and unique regulations of this country. Although it may seem like a rather whimsical rule, behind it lies a reasonable concern for hygiene and safety. This law is established to prevent unsanitary behavior that could pose health risks. Breeding fish in toilet tanks leads to water pollution, causing unpleasant odors and creating an unhealthy environment. Moreover, breeding fish in toilet tanks also raises issues related to personal hygiene and the environment, especially if not handled properly. Therefore, banning fish breeding in toilet tanks is seen as a preventive measure to maintain public hygiene and health. Despite the government's ban, many Czech citizens still resort to this method of fish breeding. I wonder if it's because they can't afford to buy a fish tank or other water-containing utensils. Number 14. Stinginess. If you're still wondering why they would raise fish in toilet tanks, I may have found the answer. It could be because they genuinely don't want to waste money buying a fish tank. Stinginess is part of the culture and lifestyle of some Czech people. Frugality, patience with money, or more precisely, stinginess, is a common trait often observed in Czech residents. Even an employee of a large company with an above-average salary would prefer to buy groceries at a cheaper supermarket rather than spend money on an expensive Italian meal. What's the point? After all, pasta is pasta. Why should I pay too much for it? This is the most common reaction you might encounter. Czech people can demonstrate their patience with money by saving in every aspect of daily life, from rational consumption to diligently saving for the future. This can be seen in habits such as using public transportation instead of driving, shopping at discount stores, or even using water from toilet tanks to raise fish or water plants to save water. Interestingly, they desire to save, but not for electronic devices or sports equipment and clothing. In this case, Czech people spend quite a lot and enthusiastically when they see the value in it. Number 13. Prohibiting posting pictures of leaders. You might be accustomed to freedom of speech in your country, but in the Czech Republic you might end up in jail just for expressing your opinion. In the Czech Republic, speaking ill, indiscriminately posting pictures, or criticizing the policies of leaders can be considered a violation of the law, especially if these actions are deemed to damage their honor or reputation. Although legally the Czech Republic is a democratic country with guaranteed freedom of speech and press, this freedom is only relative. Criticism or expressing opinions about the policies and decisions of leaders is an essential part of a democratic society. However, a Czech citizen would have to think very carefully before doing so. Most opinions are usually rejected, and the person expressing them is considered to be opposing the government. In some cases, criticizing or indiscriminately posting pictures of leaders is considered a violation of laws against defamation or damaging honor. This leads to legal consequences such as prosecution and fines, or even imprisonment. Therefore, when you want to express opinions on political and social issues in the Czech Republic, you should ensure that the information or opinions you present are accurate and that you yourself will be protected. Number 12. No joking allowed. If you visit the Czech Republic, you'll notice that the atmosphere here is quite gloomy. Czechs know how to joke, but you'll hardly ever hear sarcastic remarks. Everyone seems very busy, tense, and melancholic because of something. Czechs even appear annoyed at the sight of others laughing and joking. They consider people laughing and joking in the streets or in shops to be impolite and disruptive to others. If you talk to Czechs, you may not even have the chance to make sarcastic remarks. Czechs like to discuss history, respect for their country's past ingrained since childhood, and student organizations and schools encourage active participation in political and social activities. When discussing these matters, they are extremely serious and proud, so never show sarcasm when they talk about these things. Number 11. Highest esteem for women's rights in the world. I think that after knowing this fact, many women will wish they were born in the Czech Republic, because it's one of the countries with the highest esteem for women's rights in the world. Women in the Czech Republic participate in politics at all levels, from local to national. Although the proportion of women in government and parliament is still lower than men, there has been significant growth in the number of women holding political leadership positions. The relationships with Czechs and even marriage don't mean that men automatically take full financial responsibility for women and their children. The attitude of men work, while I just have to be beautiful, is not favored by Czechs and will not be understood. Czechs respect and support independence in partners desiring to build their careers and achieve their own goals. It's not unusual for fathers to take paternity leave while the mother returns to work and supports the family. Interestingly, children here can completely take their mother's surname if they wish. Czech law stipulates that children can take their mother's surname and it's not mandatory to take the father's surname. Number 10. Name day. Our names are usually given beforehand or on the day we are born. But in the Czech Republic, you have to wait for a specific day to have your name. They call it name day. Basically, in the Czech Republic, a person's name day falls on the day corresponding to their name on the calendar. On this day, people usually bring flowers and some gifts for the person, like a box of chocolates, books, some cosmetics, pictures, or toys for children. In Czech culture, name day is an important occasion to celebrate and discipline family members, friends, and relatives. On name day, people often organize celebratory parties, family gatherings, and friends get-togethers. Traditional Czech dishes and specialties are usually prepared, and the party cannot be without sweets and beer. The Czech Republic is not the only country that celebrates name days. In addition, people in France, Finland, Bulgaria, or Latvia also honor these specific days. If you want to know what your name day is, if you have a Czech name or an international name like Daniel, Valerie, or something like Thomas or Paul, which is Thomas and Pavel in the Czech Republic, you can search online for a Czech calendar. Number 9. Prohibition on buying alcohol in supermarkets. If you want to go to the supermarket and buy a bottle of wine as a gift or for a party in the Czech Republic, it's actually a foolish act in the eyes of the people here. Because simply in the Czech Republic, not even light wine is sold in supermarkets, and someone carrying a newly bought bottle of wine on the street will receive many curious glances from people. In the Czech Republic, they prefer beer over wine. Although beer here has a relatively high alcohol content, while drinking beer is considered normal, drinking wine is seen as somewhat lax. The Czech government believes that alcohol is much more harmful than beer, and the sale and consumption of alcohol should be restricted as much as possible. They argue that prohibiting the sale of alcohol in supermarkets helps reduce the convenience of buying alcohol. When consumers have to go to liquor stores or specialty retail outlets to buy alcohol, they may think more carefully before purchasing and consuming alcohol. Moreover, banning the sale of alcohol in supermarkets helps reduce the risk of alcohol purchase for children and adolescents. Children and adolescents often have easy access to alcohol when it is sold in regular retail outlets like supermarkets. Actually, this is entirely correct, but the issue is that Czechs are one of the countries with the highest beer consumption in the world, so restricting the sale of alcohol doesn't make much sense. Number 8. Beer paradise. If wine faces many restrictions, then beer is the drink that Czechs greatly adore. The Czech Republic is one of the 9 beer paradises in the world, where you can drink to your heart's content, and people will even pour beer for you without asking if you want more. You should know that beer is an integral part of Czech drinking culture, and beer festivals are an essential part of social life in the Czech Republic. Beer festivals are not only an opportunity to enjoy various beers, but also a chance for the community to gather, meet friends, and have fun. There are many popular beer festivals in the Czech Republic, such as Pilsner Fest in Plzeň, Slavnosti Piva in České Budějovice, home of Budweiser beer, or Starobro Fest in Brno. These festivals usually take place in summer or autumn, attracting thousands of attendees from all over. At beer festivals, you can enjoy traditional Czech beers like Pilsner, Budweiser, and a variety of craft beers from local breweries. In addition, there are entertainment activities such as live music, traditional games, and food stalls serving specialty dishes along with beer. Beer festivals are not just an opportunity to enjoy good beer, but also a part of Czech cultural and social life, creating a lively space for interaction among community members. Number 7. Atheism. Whether you worship gods, Buddha, or any other deities to any extent, don't talk about them in front of Czechs. They won't let anything about deities enter their ears. They are atheists and consider themselves their own gods. Although the Czech Republic has a long history with the influence of Roman Catholicism, in modern times the loss of faith in religion has become more prevalent. According to some studies, the percentage of Czechs who consider themselves atheists or have no specific religion approaches nearly 80%, and only a small portion of the population still maintains faith in traditional religious denominations. Some Czechs may describe themselves as atheists because they don't practice or adhere to the doctrines of any particular religion. They may have a secular view of life and morality but are not affiliated with any religious system. However, this does not mean that they lack moral values or do not respect rational values. In fact, many Czechs still have ethical principles and respectable lifestyles that they adhere to, independent of religion. Number 6. Smoking ban in public places. This is perhaps one of the most civilized and justified bans in the Czech Republic. No matter how much you crave the taste of a cigarette, never smoke it while walking down the street. The Czech Republic has implemented measures to restrict smoking in many public spaces to protect public health. These measures include banning smoking in restaurants, bars, bus stops, subway stations, and many other public places. The ban on smoking in public places not only helps protect the health of smokers, but also reduces the negative impact of secondhand smoke on those around them, especially children and non-smokers. It can also help raise awareness of the risks of smoking and encourage people to adopt a smoke-free lifestyle. With its great benefits, the Czech government does not hesitate to impose heavy fines on those who intentionally violate the ban, especially if you are a foreigner. You may face heavier fines than the normal penalty for locals for not respecting local regulations. Number 5. No lemon in lemonade. Drinking lemonade in the Czech Republic is perhaps one of the most interesting experiences in your life. There are no juicy lemon wedges and familiar sweet and sour taste you imagine in a glass of lemonade. It's a completely different flavor that you can hardly imagine. You will find lemonade on most Czech menus, and they are a great non-alcoholic beverage option. In fact, many restaurants change their lemonade varieties daily. Usually, lemonade in the Czech Republic doesn't have lemon. They are just carbonated water with added fruit syrup. Unless the menu clearly states that it contains lemon, it won't have lemon. So if you ask the server if they have any lemonades today and they say raspberry, passion fruit, and lime, then only the lemon type actually contains lemon. Additionally, malinovka is something you often see at bars. It's a sweet raspberry soda, technically lemonade by Czech standards, usually available on tap. Number 4. No euros allowed. If you think you can pay for your lemonade in euros, then that's actually a big mistake. The Czech Republic does not use the euro. Instead, they use the Czech crown koruna. In recent years, the exchange rate has fluctuated around 21 to 24 crowns per US dollar. Mental calculations aren't the easiest thing, so I advise you to download a currency converter app and open it when you want to check exchange rates. In fact, you can't use US dollars here either. You might think this doesn't need to be said, but I've seen enough Americans try to pay with USD all over Europe. You should use a US credit card for most of your shopping transactions in Europe. If they ask you which currency to charge, CZK or USD, always choose CZK. You'll get a better rate if they do the conversion. Number 3. Eye contact required. Eye contact is essential when toasting in the Czech Republic. Make sure to look directly into the eyes of the person opposite you when your glasses clink. If not, according to Czechs, you'll encounter bad luck and you'll have to endure 7 years of bad intimacy. Also, don't cross your arms when toasting, and definitely don't toast with water that's considered bad luck. If you have a glass of water, whether it's sparkling or still, just smile and nod when everyone around cheers you. People will understand. Also, don't pour new beer into old beer. If you still have some beer in your glass, finish it before pouring it full again. As mentioned, Czechs may be atheists, but they seem very attentive in their actions and are always wary of encountering bad luck in life. Number 2. Land of castles. When you come to the Czech Republic, the first thing that will probably impress you is the number of castles in this country. You only need to walk a few kilometers, and you might come across an ancient castle, and if you want to explore them all, it might take you several months. The Czech Republic has a rich and diverse history of castles. These castles are often built from medieval times to the Renaissance, and they embody not only unique architectural beauty but also vivid portraits of the country's history and culture. Foremost among them is the extensive castle complex featuring architectural styles ranging from Romanesque and Gothic to 20th century architecture. Since 1918, Prague Castle has served as the presidential residence of the Czech Republic, formerly Czechoslovakia. Through numerous constructions and renovations starting from the 9th century, Prague Castle stands as one of the largest castle complexes in the world, according to the Guinness Book of Records, with a length of 570 meters and a width of 130 meters. It's also the largest ancient castle in the world. Additionally, you should also visit Hluboká Enedy Tavu Castle and Litomyšl Castle, two architectural gems that will surely leave you in awe. Number 1. Crystal Paradise. When you come to the Czech Republic, one of the things you shouldn't miss is the crystal products in this country, the finest crystal in the world. The Czech Republic is truly famous for producing high-quality and exquisite crystal. The city of Bohemia, located in the central region of the Czech Republic, is considered the crystal heart of the world. In the Czech Republic, glass and crystal have been produced in Bohemia for over 800 years. The skills of craftsmen combined with finesse in every action have maximized the beautiful light refraction. The fame of Czech crystal is not only created from accumulated traditions over centuries but also evaluated for skills, experience, quality of craftsmen, and the ability to create an attractive, elegant product through various techniques. Although nowadays with modern science and technology crystal quality can be improved, fundamentally it still relies on long-standing manual techniques. By using glass blowing techniques to create a rough product, then refining and decorating it with various methods, combined with the craftsmanship of artisans, it creates a product of high artistic value. As I said, don't miss the opportunity to buy these items at a bargain price when you're directly in the Czech Republic. So we have explored together 15 bans and peculiarities in the Czech Republic. From strict regulations to unique rules, we have seen a small part of the culture and customs of this country. Through this video, I hope you've gained an interesting insight into the Czech Republic and its special features. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of the latest videos on culture and travel around the world. Thank you for accompanying us and see you in the next videos.